Dun 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 dun. Hi, sorry I'm not all glammed up for this session. Usually I like to look good, but this week I've been down. About 2 years ago, I had gotten diagnosed with uterine cancer. And that's what I want this segment to be about. I want to educate women and kind of let go of my worries because I'm scared. I have to go in for testing this week, and every year, one moment please. Background noise. I was 31 years old and I kept on having like a menstrual cycle for like a month straight, and it'd be really heavy, and I couldn't get it to stop. It would stop for 2 days and then it would start back up again, and I knew something was wrong. And most women, I'm gonna tell you right now, most women they ignore the symptoms that their bodies are trying to tell them. When there's something wrong, sure, people have certain aches and pains that go away and stuff, but when something like a menstrual cycle persists for a month, it is always good to get checked out. It could be fibroid tumors, which are non-cancerous. It could be a number of things, hormones, anything out of whack. Any case, like I'm an intuitive empath. I'm also sympathetic. I'm intuitive to where I go with my gut instinct most of the time. So right after my 31st birthday, I decided to go to the doctor. I knew something was wrong. Called my regular doctor. I told her it was an emergency that I got in. The doctor would not see me. She was like, I don't know what to tell you, we're booked up. So I was on an HMO plan to where when you're on a plan like that, you have to get like a referral to go see like a certain gynecologist or whatever. I took matters into my own hands. I went and I just went to the gynecologist. I seen the greatest gynecologist I have ever seen. She's absolutely wonderful. I won't put her name out there due to anonymity. Anyway, I go in there, I visit, and I tell her what's going on, and she said, we're going to run an ultrasound. I said, you know what? My husband had cancer. We can't have kids. I accepted the fact a long time ago. Why don't you go in there and just pull all of this stuff out? I don't want to have to deal with periods anymore. Well, anyway, that didn't happen. She wanted to do an ultrasound, and then the ultrasound came back abnormal, so they did a DNC, which is where they put you to sleep and they go in and they clean out your uterus. Kind of like that shedding that's been building up, maybe making you have a longer menstrual cycle. They get it out. Well, while they were doing my DNC, they noticed 2 polyps in my uterus. So that's not an alarming in itself. It could be non-cancerous. So she said everything seemed fine. She said actually the DNC that she performed was the cleanest one that she's ever seen. So I don't worry too much about it. About a week later, I didn't get my results, and you're told if it's not good news, if it's good news, they won't call you. If it's bad news, they'll call you within 2 to 3 days. I passed the week part, and I didn't get a call. 8th day, I was home from work. I remember watching just some random movie on television, and I got a phone call from the doctor, and she was like, we need you to come in, and you need to bring somebody with you. I knew what that meant. I knew from when I had the polyps that I knew I had cancer. I can't tell you how. As a kid, I've always been afraid of cancer. I'd go to the doctor for a cold. I'd think I have cancer. It was something that I have always been afraid of. So I go to the doctor with my husband, and they tell me the doctor told me, we think you got stage 1 endocarcinoma, otherwise uterine cancer, and she scheduled a complete hysterectomy a week later. She was like, hey, you're getting your wish. You didn't want your uterus or anything. We're getting it out of you. And they took my uterus, my cervix, my lymph nodes. They left one ovary because being in my early 30s, I need the hormones for your bone density and other things. And then you wait for the results on that. Before I went into the surgery to get a hysterectomy, one of the doctors drove me nuts. He told me if I had cancer in more than 20% of my uterus, I would have to undergo chemo and radiation. You know where my mind went? My mind went to losing my beautiful hair. And that was right before I went into surgery. That was a defining moment for me. So I get out of surgery and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty looped up. They gave me a button to press every 7 minutes, and you better believe I was pressing that button. Next day I go home and they call me back. They call me and let me know, hey, we got it. You got the cancer in stage 1. You don't have to have chemo or radiation. So excited, happy, just like a new lease on life. Well, 7 months later, after you had cancer, you have to keep getting checked up. Well, I went and I got checked up, and I noticed there was some pain during intercourse. Like I could just feel like something in there, and she discovered a polyp, like the kind I had in my uterus, in the walls of my girl parts, inside of my girl parts. So I had to undergo another biopsy. And of course I Google everything, and when you have uterine cancer, it does sometimes spread to your vaginal walls, and geez, how do they just cut that out? Freaked out. And she told me I was to have the biopsy done right before I was going to the Bahamas. The whole time I was going to the Bahamas, this was on my mind. And so I go and I have the biopsy after I come back, and thank God everything's benign. And now this is my real checkup to see. I have to go and see and make sure that there's no new cancer. And uterine cancer is also linked to breast cancer, so they do genetic testing. I have the BRCA gene, which is a gene that causes these types of cancers, uterine, breast cancer, and I forget what else. So they started me on early mammograms. And on Thursday, I am going to the gynecologist, and it just seems like every year I have a new surgery, Like, what if this pap smear comes back abnormal? Are they going to biopsy me the rest of my life? And if I choose not to, what if it is cancer? And I'm scared out of my mind. I'm being as real as I can be right now. I am scared out of my mind. This is hard. I feel like nobody in my family really knows, and if they do, it's just everybody always tells you to be positive, be happy, think happy, and honestly, those are the people that are so full of shit themselves that because anybody that goes through something hard isn't positive. They're not happy. You can read it on their face. They're not being authentic to themselves. I'm trying to be authentic, but I'm trying not to be so negative to where people don't want to be around me and be a bad person. I'm trying to keep on the bright side, but I'm frightened. I'm scared. I haven't been able to sleep. I just want all these testings to be over with. And right now I'm going to give you the 5, like, I don't even know how many signs of uterine cancer that you women need to check out. I'm going to tell you, number 1, estrogen or all forms of female hormones, birth control, everything is bad. It causes cancer. They tell you it doesn't. It does. Since I had cancer, they told me I could never be on estrogen therapy because estrogen increases the cell growth within. If you have any like residual cancer that may never come back into play, well, that estrogen is gonna vamp it up. Well, cancer could spread anywhere. So if you're healthy, even if you are going through menopause, do not use estrogen. It can cause cancer, and they won't tell you that because the drug companies are making $1 trillion off this stuff. Second off, if you have a menstrual cycle that lasts a month and that is heavy, you need to get it checked out. It's not normal. There's something wrong that needs to be dealt with. If I waited another year of me having these menstrual cycles that last for 2 or 3 months, who knows what stage cancer I would have gotten into. What if I got into stage 2? I would have had to have chemo and radiation and had a lot more problems. Now I'm just doing maintenance treatment, and it's hard. It's hard to go through. And I pray for all the women out there that are going through something like this, that they listen to their bodies, and if people tell them, keep on the sunny side and all this other crap, be positive, don't worry about it, you can't even listen to them. You just have to find the peace within yourself. You're not going to get peace from anywhere else. What I'm trying to do, I'm meditating. I'm trying to be calm before my procedures. I'm just trying to ignore it, and try not to dwell on it so much. But I wanted to do a YouTube video concerning this. It was a big part of my life. It was something that my cat Oliver, he is camera savvy. It is something that needs to be addressed. And if anybody is going through this or has any problem, please, write a comment in the comment section, and I will get right back to you. I will explain to you what's going on. I have a medical background. I did medical assisting. I also did medical billing, and I was in 3 years of dental hygiene. But I know quite a bit about the human body, and I can ease some worries, but again, I am not a doctor. Please, I had to let my story out. I had to talk to somebody. I had to talk to somebody and maybe, hopefully, help them. Thank you very much for listening. And have a great day.